I didn't read a lot of books, but I sure did read a lot of pages. Let's talk about it. Hello and welcome back to the channel. As you can see in the title, this is my January wrap-up. And that's the only thing, because I have a lot to talk about. And it's been a long time since I just did a singular wrap-up. And you'll get more videos, so a little slacking this month on videos. Taking longer breaks between videos. And haven't really had motivation. Been reading lots, like I said in the intro. I read 3 books this month, but there's a lot of other books that I started but never continued with, and you'll hear about that. So let's just get into it, I guess. The first book was Shadow Rising, and I've yet to make a review of this, and so I really enjoyed it. It took a long time. This was actually my first audiobook of the series, and Michael Kramer and Kate Redding, amazing audiobook narrators. I just 1,000 pages. It was a little daunting, so I just had to bring up the audiobook and read it that way or listen to it, whatever. And really good experience, and I really enjoyed the story. I love the Aiel, and I love learning about all the more world building, and there's like the 4 different plots, and I think I might have a review. Maybe I'll have to crack open the book and read a few chapters or something, and kind of refresh my memory on it, because I read it like 3-4 weeks ago. So yeah, that was a very good book, and I did, in my TBR, I did say I was gonna read Shadow Rising, or oh my god, did I just say Shadow Rising again? Fires of Heaven, I mean, and didn't read that, but I did read a bit. You'll see that later on the list. And so that will be my TBR. A little spoilers there for next video. So Shadow Rising. Next I read was Song of Susanna. I do have a review of this. I have a half review with Wolves of the Kala, and then I'll have a full review of Dark Tower. This book was strange, to say the least. You can see my review, it's all spoiler free. Won't go into extreme thoughts, but again, it was strange, it was weird, but there's a lot of world building. It didn't feel like a story, honestly. It just felt like a filler book. Many people say that. It feels like a filler book between Wolves of the Kala and Dark Tower. You can cut in half and put half of it into the first book, and then the other half into the last book. Not the first book, I mean Wolves of the Kala, and then half in Dark Tower. It feels very filler. There's not really like an overall plot to it. It just seems like, oh, we're gonna go here now, oh, we're gonna go here. Like, there's no overall plan. So I still enjoyed it. Very short. I think it's like the second shortest in the series. Really enjoyed it. Next, I do not have a review of this. I don't think I will have a review of this. It's Insomnia by Stephen King. Really had a Stephen King kick there. My 2 of the 3 books I read, and more Stephen King later that I read also. Insomnia was very good. I don't think I'll have a review for it, because I just don't think there's interest in watching that review, so there's really no point making it. I do have a review on my Goodreads. I'll link in the description. I had actually a lengthy review of that, so you can read it. I think I wrote it all, it was all spoiler free. Go read that if you want to hear my thoughts on Insomnia. Overall, I do not recommend it to anyone who has not read The Dark Tower, and nor is it even a good book to start with Stephen King. It's very related to The Dark Tower, so it's a book that you read once you're 10-15 books into Stephen King, and you've read the first 5-6 Dark Tower books. So that was, I thought it was really good. Talking about where I'm at, I'm going to read the 7th book pretty soon of The Dark Tower, and I read it just in between books 6 and 7. I thought it was a good decision. So Insomnia. Next comes the just books that I read some of but never finished, and honestly, if I just read one book, I could have probably read five or 2 more books, 5 books in total, with all the other pages I read. You'll hear this. I was also planning to read One Piece manga. I did read 20 chapters of the 3rd saga. I think it's called Sky Island or something. and just never continued for some reason. And then I read 100 pages of Alloy of Law, which is the 4th Mistborn book, first Era 2 Mistborn book. And yeah, so read 100 pages of that, which is a lot, but I don't know, I just didn't continue. And then I read 250 pages of Fires of Heaven. So again, you can see I'm a good chunk into that book, and I don't know, for some reason, I'm like a mood reader. Like, I could read like 100 pages of Fires of Heaven one day, and then I wake up the next day, I'm like, I don't feel like reading Wheel of Time. And so I pick up another book. I read 50 pages that day, and then the next day I don't feel like reading it. So it's just like Anyway, next, after Fires of Heaven, I read 50 pages of The Dark Tower, book 7, and again, never continued. Next, I read 60 pages of Firestarter. I had like a 3-day streak there. I read like 20 pages each day, and then never picked it up again. And then I read 50 pages of Way of Kings, which I continue because I read like 5 months ago I started it, and I'm like 400 pages in, and then I read another 50 pages, and I read like, I love Kaladin. Kaladin is such a good character. And then I get to those Dalinar chapters, and I'm just like, oh my god. Dalinar is so boring. To me personally, I don't find his plot interesting. I don't find Aelin any interesting at all. It's just, I find him so boring, and just, he grabs me out of the story, and I never pick him up. I'm literally stuck on a Dalinar chapter right now, so I'll maybe pick that up sometime soon. And then I read 50 pages of Needful Things by Stephen King, and yeah, so you can see I read a lot of Stephen King there. Yeah. Needful Things I am currently reading, so I think I will continue with it because I'm really enjoying the plot of it. And yeah, so that is a grand total of 2,700 pages, 2,700, which is a lot of pages to read in one month. It's just, if I accumulated all the pages that I didn't read the books of, I could have read an extra 2 books, but it doesn't matter. It's just all about the reading, and I read a good amount, I guess. Anyway, that is my January wrap-up. Read 3 books, read many more, never finished them. Don't worry, the books I did mention, I'm not DNFing them. Those are not DNFs, they're just on hold. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.